Bleacher Report is very, very popular. Bleacher Report, you know that, right? They're very, very popular. So they ranked every NFL quarterback supporting cast. And not a surprise, Kansas City's number one. But number two is Cleveland. And this isn't just Bleacher Report. Pro Football Focus named Nick Chubb the number one most elusive running back in the league. Pro Football Focus ranked Myles Garrett and Olivier Vernon the number two pass rushing team in the league. They've also upgraded at tight end, both tackles. Yet the over-under for the Cleveland Browns, in a weapons league, in an offensive league, they're second to the Kansas City Chiefs. I could argue they have more depth offensively than the Kansas City Chiefs. They may not have the top end stuff, but they got more depth. They got two receivers. They got two tight ends. They got two running backs. Definitely better than Kansas City at running back. And now probably potentially as good at tackle. 8.5, they're over under. What? Why is that? Baker Mayfield's maturity. Nobody knows if he's mature enough. You put Patrick Mahomes with that talent? Oh, wait, their over-under's 12. Drew Brees is 41, non-athletic, doesn't throw a deep ball. Cleveland's got better talent, and their over-under's 10.5. Tom Brady's over-under is 9.5. New coach, old, unathletic, new system. No running game. This is what we talk about maturity matters. Fox Bet, Vegas, they don't care about anything other than wins. And they think they're a 500 team with those weapons. The first year, we blamed the coach, Hugh Jackson. Last year, we blamed the coach, Freddie Kitchens. The owners in Cleveland are not blaming the coach again. I've said this before. If Sam Darnold struggles, Adam Gase will be fired. Because Darnold hasn't had any maturity issues. If Cleveland doesn't make the playoffs, Baker Mayfield's getting fired. Ask yourself, how are they an 8.5 win team with Brady's got a new system? Brady's got a new coach. Brady's got a new city. Brady's got a new offensive line. Brady's got new receivers. He's unathletic. He's old. They're over. And I would argue the division top to bottom is better. This is why maturity matters. Not my opinion, Vegas. They see him as a 500 football team. So, I don't. I think Cleveland wins 9. I think they make the playoffs. But what does it tell you when Bleacher Report, Pro Football Focus, all these grades, all these lists have Cleveland like only Kansas City in an offensive league where all the rules are geared for offense has more talent. And they're a 500 team. Because Breeze and Russell Wilson and Brady, they synthesize it. They bring it all together. They're Vegas trusts that the quarterback will get it all together. And Kevin Stefanski, what about him? You think Bruce Arians is a Hall of Famer? He likes cocktails early and he closes practice quickly. Bruce Arians retired, went into broadcasting. We didn't even know in Tampa if he was all in. We thought he was. We're not sure. He likes coaching, but not going to be here long. So this is why when I bang on the maturity thing, Vegas, Fox Bet, they're telling you, this is an all-star cast in Cleveland. Over-under's 8.5. I have the over, by the way. I don't think any of us would ever deny that your parents have a huge, huge part in deciding how your life goes. Do you grow up in a stable environment? Do you grow up in an unstable environment? Are you loved? Are you supported? No reasonable person would deny that, 0 to 15 years old, having some stability, some loved, being helped, being assisted, being elevated is a huge advantage. That is not to say you can't overcome it. And we see this in pro sports all the time. Nobody would deny that Pete Carroll's been aided by Russell Wilson, has been aided by, he had a good owner, he had a good coach, they gave him a great defense. So for the first 2 years of Russell Wilson's development, he had the running back, this and that. Now, it's been his franchise since then. And nobody would argue that Andrew Luck simply had too much to overcome, and that's why he's no longer playing and has retired. It matters. Not only does it matter when you're a child, but as you age, I've worked for 6 different companies, 5 different companies, 4 have been great. The one place I didn't feel I really succeeded, it was bad management. It's nothing against them. It was just a circus from the day I got there. At one point, we had a dog on the set. I'm not joking. Every night. And at one point, we did news from a leather couch. I'm not joking about that either. So in that Bleacher Report, they ranked the quarterbacks who had the most help. Mahomes had the best skill people. Baker was second. Sam Darnold was 30th. Every other quarterback, every other young quarterback in this league got something. Josh Allen got the coach. Lamar got the organization. Baker got the wide receiver talent. Deshaun Watson got wide receiver weapons. Patrick Mahomes got everything. Sam Darnold got nothing. I'm reading Bleacher Report's discussion on Darnold. They say, the Jets have failed to surround Sam Darnold with a quality cast. It'll be slightly better this year. They've drafted a potential number one receiver, and they have a promising rookie left tackle. Oh, good hell. Where you land, where you're raised, what you're born into is so vital. Every other young quarterback got something to grab onto, some support group. His first head coach in New York was fired. His first coordinator in New York had not been a coordinator in the NFL for 8 years. His first GM was incompetent. Weapons, brutal. O-line, tragic. Ownership below average. They begged a center to come out of retirement last year to protect him. He got hurt. His best receiver, Robbie Anderson, his favorite target, Jets wouldn't keep him, let him go for pennies. Yet he went 7-6 last year. He had mono. In the 3 games he didn't play for the Jets, they were not only 0-3, they scored 23 points total. And in 2 of the 3 games, they had 70 passing yards or less. He then got out of a hospital, walked up against Dallas, threw for 360 yards, a couple of touchdowns, and they crushed the Cowboys and Dak Prescott. He is the only young quarterback in this league. Nothing. What does he grab onto? Where's his support system? 30th, according to Bleacher Report. The draft in 2015, you think, well, maybe he walked into some good players for the Jets. The draft in 2015, not a single player is still there. And in the second half last year of his starts, in his last 8 starts, he was 6-2, 13 touchdowns, 4 picks. But he gets a lot of heat. And I found this out, I think, because half my audience hates me, that you kept pushing back on Andrew Luck until everybody acknowledged, good Lord, he didn't have any help. You keep pushing back on Russell Wilson until finally you're like, he makes everything work. Darnold, I have to quit praising him. And I just want you to watch him. And I think their schedule this year is brutal. I think their weapons are still bottom. I like Le'Veon Bell. I'm not sure if he's got a ton left. Herndon's a great tight end. He's just never available to play. But I think I'm hurting Sam Darnold. I think my fascination and my pleas to acknowledge his greatness is now hurting his brand. Seriously. I think people are just pushing back because they don't like me. So from now on, it's just that guy with the Jets. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.